Hello and welcome to the Performer's Guide. My name is Kristen Railing and today we will be discussing building your own website. So step one of building your own website is purchasing your domain. I like to use GoDaddy, and if you scroll down you can see the GoDaddy website, and when you get to the home page you can see right there it says find your perfect domain. And so what you can do is click there and type in the website you want. And so let's say I wanted to get the Performer's Guide website. I'd search it. Uh-oh, it's already taken by me. So this is what you want to do is you want to search to see if your domain is already taken. A lot of times people get emotionally attached to their new business name and they don't bother to check the web domain to see if it's available. And so let's see if I can get my first and middle name as a website, because I already have Kristen Railing as a website. Oh, it's available. So this is what you'll want to do to find your domain through GoDaddy. And then I can add it to my cart and it will automatically try to prompt you to do it for 5 years, but I recommend to just do it for 1 year. And that way you can use the money from the website to generate the payments from your website if you don't have a lot of money. If you do have a lot of money already saved up, I recommend doing the full 5 years up front because you do get a discount on the, oh, Kristen Nicole was taken actually. So that's just what you'll keep doing. And once you find one that you've purchased, so we're over here now. This is one that I purchased just recently. And I'm in now my GoDaddy account. And so in here, you can see I have 5 domains and one of them is connected, and that's the Performer's Guide. And so it's called ABCs of Circus. Okay. So here I can go to my domain managers. And these are the domains that I own in GoDaddy. And you can see in the estimated value that after I've purchased the websites and started building them out, they accumulate in their price. So this is another good way that you can start to generate more wealth and income is through owning, purchasing, and selling your domains. So once you have your domain, and you've purchased it, you can see there it says use my domain. And so when you click on it, it'll start to prompt you to building your website out. Okay. And so some people already have a website that's fully functioning and they're just purchasing a new one because maybe it's a new brand name and they're not ready to fully build out a new website. In that case, you can just forward an existing website to your new domain. And that can be a really easy way to just begin the rebranding process. The next way you can do it is to build out your own simple website. And then you can also opt in for a WordPress website, which is what I prefer personally. It gives you a lot more functionality with your website. And we're going to go through what that looks like on my Kristen Railing dashboard here. So after you go through your GoDaddy purchase and you'll set up your website, you'll be here. You'll get a dashboard for your WordPress. Okay. And so if you look up at the URL, it's yourwebsite.com/WP-admin/. So whatever your website is, if you're utilizing WordPress, you'll be able to access it through that URL. and then it'll take you here. And so this is your dashboard, and you can see on the left, it has all of my topics, all of the tabs that I can utilize for my website building. And then up at the top, you can see there's even more options there. And so if I click on Kristen Railing, which is the name of my website, I can either visit the site, the website I've created, or because I've connected WooCommerce to it, I can also visit my store, which is currently empty because I'm just about to build it out with the ABCs of Circus stuff. And so here I can click to see my website, or I can click it again and go back to my dashboard. And so that's kind of the most important part, to be able to view the front end or the back end. And you can see it'll on the top, it'll give me like, oh, I have 27 updates that I need to do. If anyone's commented on any of my posts, it'll let me know. If anyone, you can see I have 5 people that have booked with me that I need to respond to, people who want to book appointments with me. And so we'll go over those specific plugins as well. But for now, when we're at the dashboard, again, it'll let me know. You can see I haven't updated my personal website in a minute. Then I've got some updates there. I got to finish my WooCommerce and my geolocation, some other things, which is great. It'll just prompt you and let you know what updates you need to do. Down here, you can see I haven't been driving traffic to my website at all. This is my personal one. I've only been driving traffic to the Performer's Guide, really. But even then, I'm still getting about 100 people a month looking at my website. Then we scroll down, and again, it just gives us more information about my booking calendar update, which I've given. And so this is kind of at a glance, your whole website, updates, things you kind of need to give immediate attention to, okay? And then second tab here, we have the actual updates themselves. And so once you add in plugins, they will eventually need to be updated, and it'll let you know here which ones you need to do. It's important to do just one update at a time and then fully refresh your website before updating the next one. Otherwise, your entire website will crash, like mine has multiple times because I didn't do it correctly. So instead of hitting update all plugins, you're just going to click the one and update it and then refresh your site. The next tab is your SEO, and it lets you know how your SEO is doing. So if I clicked on that, it'll take me through the SEO ranking. I don't want to go all the way through that because it's kind of its own beast, which we'll go over through SEO. And then you can also look at your general insights, which we did get a good look at in the beginning there. You can see when I was driving traffic to my website, and then I started the Performer's Guide and retired from performing and switched out my marketing plan. And so that's very apparent on my analytics. So then next we have, oh wait, oops. Hold on, sorry. Let's go back to the home. Okay, so now we're home. Then you can see I have my bookings there, but that won't automatically be there. I added that in a plugin, so we'll just skip over that for a minute. Next, we have posts. And you can also see we have pages, okay? And a common question is, what's the difference between a post and a page? The post is a blog. It's in blog format, and a page is a page. And so you just want to think of posts like blogs and a page like a regular page, okay? And so once you click on posts for your blog, you can review all your blogs, you can add a new one, you can review your categories or your SEO tags, okay? And so if I were to add posts, then they go to my, if I go to my website, Oh, it was called Get Your Act Together was my blog. And so it'll just go right there to my Get Your Act Together blog. And so the post page automatically will update it to your blog page. And then the pages just create pages that you have to outline and move to where you need them to go. And so each page or post can have media in it, which could be a video or a photo. And so we can utilize the media tab to add new media or review our library. I do recommend adding your media separately. And so you can go into your media and just add everything that you need so that it's there. And then when you're creating the pages, when it clicks add media, it'll take you to your gallery there. You can also just upload the media directly in the page as you're building out, and it does work fine, but it does take a little bit more time. And so if you already have all your media in a folder, it's easiest to just upload it all at once to save yourself a lot of time there. So the next tab is forms. You can create multiple types of forms on your website. The most popular form would be an email subscription, people registering to your email subscription. Another popular form would be a contact form. And these are often very commonly found on websites. But as you start to get more comfortable with websites, you might find other types of forms that you might want to make for different reasons. And here you can create the forms and then insert them onto the pages as needed. And then we have our pages, which looks similar as the posts, like I said, but pages just create a landing page, which isn't connected to your blog like the other posts are. And so I'll show you in a minute how we can make the pages appear on the website. Otherwise, you can choose whether when you make a new page, it automatically goes to the menu, or if it becomes a landing page, which isn't automatically visible on the home page, and you can decide that. And then comments. So I don't have any comments available on this website. On the Performer's Guide, I do allow for comments because I have lots of blogs and articles that people might have questions on and they comment. Just know that if you have comments turned on, you want to make sure to have your spam diffuser on, because it opens up your website to spam comments and people trying to promote their services on your website. So next we have WooCommerce, which we'll go back to in a minute, because that's again an additional plugin that doesn't automatically come onto your website. I have that added, and that's why you can see that there, but we'll go over that in a minute. The next basic part of your website is your appearance. And this is where I actually like to start. When I first buy my website and I'm wanting to customize the way it looks and feels before adding my content, I go to the appearance. When you first set up your website, it will prompt you to create or to choose a theme. I recommend just choosing any theme at first, just to get the website up. And then once you have your skeleton, then you can go through and really take some time to find which theme you like. These are the ones that I've installed for different websites already. And then if I want to search a new one up at the top, I can. And there's hundreds of themes. And you can also go to Theme Forest, which is where I buy a lot of my themes, which is outside of WordPress. And so what you can do is go to Theme Forest, find the theme that you like, and then connect it to your website, and it'll just show up here. Or you can buy a theme, get free themes through WordPress itself. And so just know there are free themes and there are paid themes. The more you pay for a theme, the more templates and pre-created pages there are. The less you pay for a theme, the less it's already going to be built out for you. And so if you have no knowledge of web development at this point, I recommend paying for a more expensive theme so you don't have to do all that back end work to create it. However, if you're really competent in web development, you might want to start completely from scratch and do the coding yourself, in which case a free theme might be better for you, so you're not back undoing all of the already created theme customizations. If that makes sense. So then once you have your theme, each theme is customizable in its own way. And it's really important that you define your theme before you start working on your website, because what happens is the themes will have their own specifications. And when I change, some of the things will change over, but some won't. And so a common problem that I see is people who have fully built out websites, they're ready for a theme change, and then they change the theme, and now there's a lot of reintegration that happens. And so just prep yourself that that will be part of web development, is some of the theme changes not crossing over. So one of the first things you want to do is work on your site identity. This is what people will see when they come to the site. So like look up at the top of the tab, it says customize Kristen Railing. So at first it said customize WordPress site or something really basic, but because I put Kristen Railing, that pops up at the top there. It also shows up, you can see on my header, it says Kristen Railing World Class Entertainment. And so if I were to change any of these here, that would directly change it on my page. And then I can also choose my, oh, I always forget what this little thing is called. It's the logo that goes right on top. See where the tab is? And it says customize right to the left. There's a little icon there. Oh, it's your favicon is what it's called. And so it's like a logo, but it has to be very simple. Even the picture that I have, I actually just put this as a marker, because you can see up at the top, you can't really see what it is, right? It looks kind of blurry, but look at the GoDaddy one. It's just their nice logo, and even the other tab, Kit, right? They have their logo there. That's what we want for our website. The Performer's Guide has a really nice favicon, the star, but admittedly, the Kristen Railing one could use a better favicon. And so then I can change it there. And then we can go back. I can also change the colors of my website. I went for a light color on Kristen Railing, and I went for a dark theme on the Performer's Guide. And then you've got your header media. I've admittedly been struggling with my header media. I want to get good video, but for right now, I just have my personal name logo, which has been doing fine, but I'd admittedly like to upgrade my header. Okay, so this is important, your menus. The menu is what shows up at the top of your, see how it says Kristen Railing, Circus Arts, Empowerment, Performer's Guide, Get Your Act Together. That's the menu. And when you create pages, they're not necessarily going to show up on the menu. You have to physically create your menu to your specifications. And this is where a sitemap is really going to come in handy for you, so that you can have a really clear understanding of what pages you actually want visible on your website and which ones are just landing pages that you send to people as needed. A common mistake for new web developers is to make every single page visible and available. And what happens is decision paralysis for your clients, and it's just information overload. And also, sometimes you don't want people to necessarily click around. You just want them to go to one page, and that's what they get. And so you decide which is which. Do you want them to be able to, from that page, meander through your website, or just land on that page and it doesn't give them any more options? And so you can choose all that through your menus. And you can create multiple menus as needed. So then we have widgets. Widgets are little add-ins or little things that you can put onto your sidebar or your header or your footer. I currently don't have any widgets because I am just in the process of redoing my website as well. That's my goal for this week, is to redo this site. And so that'll include adding more footers. And so if we click here, add widget, this will give you all of the different types of add-ons that come with the theme that you can add on to your page. And there's just so many options here that you can add on. And each theme has slightly different widget options. I don't tend to, okay, no, the next one I don't work on so much. So this one is your homepage. You can choose the settings of it. I like to have a static homepage. If you're someone who updates a lot of blogs or wants those visible, you can also have it so that your latest posts show up in your homepage as well. You can also choose which page is your homepage. And this can be very helpful if you create a new homepage. Maybe you're wanting to completely redo it or have two different options. Perhaps you have your wintertime homepage and your summertime homepage, and they have different feels. You can create new ones and link and direct them as needed. You can also choose which page is your blog page as well. Otherwise, it'll just naturally say blog. Oops. So now you see there's the header and then theme editor. I don't recommend editing the theme in any way. And see here, it even is like, whoa, bitch, back up. You're about to fuck up your whole website. So unless you're a web developer, don't change the theme. And if you have needs, just ask your web developer to do that for you. Okay. The next thing we have here, you see plugins. And plugins are additional products that you can install into your website, and most of them are free. And so these allow extra integrations for your website that make it more customizable, easier for your client, and allows for more functionality. And so you can see on mine, I've installed a chat box. So if someone comes onto my website, it'll let me know and I can chat with them live and help them find what they need. The anti-spam, which is very important for, like I said, if you have comments or anything that takes in information that someone could sneak into and send spam into. Beaver Builder is a build out program that helps you actually build your pages out, but from the front end. And so instead of, we'll go more in depth into page building too, but with Beaver Builder, you can do it from the front end or the back end, which makes it really helpful for new web developers. And I have a booking calendar for if clients want to book an appointment with me. I also have WooCommerce, which the Cart Flows is an add-on for my WooCommerce. I've got extra widgets. I love this page duplication add-on because I can just copy a page and then edit it. And then I've got a lot of WooCommerce connections. So this one connects my WooCommerce to my Facebook. I also have GoDaddy email marketing on here, so I can directly send emails through my website. I have extra analytics on my WordPress so that I can see how my site is doing. I have a couple different forms that I had been playing with, so you just want to use one though. And again, more WooCommerce updates, forms. A lot of these are repeats because they were ones I was testing out and figured out ones I liked. And then these are all ones those are advanced. I don't necessarily. And then WooCommerce. WooCommerce is I think one of the most important plugins you can have for your website, if you have an online store, this can connect it to Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, and you can have your products available right on the site, and it just automatically connects it. You can see I have some updates I need to do with my WooCommerce because I haven't finished setting it up yet. So those are kind of my favorite plugins, and those are available in the plugins. And then you can also add in new ones. And so if there's just some random function you want for your website, you can just type it in as like a keyword, and then it'll give you a bunch of different plugins for that type. And you can just pick one, check it out. Maybe you don't like it, deactivate it, try a new one. Just know that if you activate 2 of the same type of plugin at the same time, it can create some wonkiness on your site. So just be aware of which plugins you have activated or deactivated. The next one is users. So one of the common things I see with performers is they're giving away their website backend information, like their GoDaddy password, their personal website password. We don't want to do that. Oh, so you can see here, these BBBs, these are spam people, okay? And so that's a good indication for me of, oop, I need to do a little bit more tightening up of my website. And so I'm just going to delete those guys like that, confirm them. And so you can see right now, I only have myself as a developer and then the performers guide. And basically what you want to do is, let's say I'm hiring a web developer or a graphic designer or something. You just add them as a new user and you give them a password, and then that way you can remove them as needed. And they don't have too much control of your website. I made this mistake of giving someone my super back-end passwords and then they deleted the website. So you really want to make sure you have full control and you give a little bit of control to other people. I don't use the bottom one so much. You know, the settings. Oh yeah, there's some good stuff in the settings, but honestly, I don't mess with that too much. So I wouldn't start there. That's kind of more like as needed. Okay. And so that's a little tour of your back panel here on the left. And so now we're going to go into building a page. And what does that look like? So it's going to pull up here. Actually, I'm going to go into a page that's already built so you can get an idea. Okay, let's pick one. Okay, so I'll just go to corporate firewall. So you can see I've added videos, text, buttons, photos. You can kind of see the layout of what I've done here. And so you can add these in piece by piece. They're essentially little blocks. And you can decide, I've chosen to have just a single column, but you can make up to 3 columns on your website and edit as needed. Oh. And so here I clicked on a section and it gives all these different editing functions that you can do. And then if I want to type, I can edit in there as well. And a lot of this just comes from doing it yourself, just kind of building it and trying and failing, and then once you have it, have your draft out, then you can see what it looks like on a desktop, a tablet, and a phone. And so that's a really great option. So you can make sure that it looks good on each type of platform, because a lot of times it'll look really good on a desktop, but terrible on a phone, or vice versa. And so you really want to make sure that that you check on all of them. Okay. And so before you start creating a bunch of pages willy-nilly, it's really helpful to create a site map. Okay. And so we're going to go into that. And here's the first part of it for me is, once I've created my GoDaddy account and once I've created my WordPress account information, I will add it in right here for myself. And also for, if I'm giving it to the web developer, I would change this information to what theirs is, right? And up here, I have just basic rates for general web development of what you can expect to pay if you're going to have someone else help you build out your website. And this can kind of help you gauge whether you want to do it yourself or whether you can afford to have someone else do it. And if you're going to have someone else do it, it's very important that you still have an idea of what your website contains and you have all of your information written out, so that we're not just expecting the web developer to do all this work for us. And I see that commonly of, oh, I'm not going to do it, the web developer is going to do it. And then you just sort of try to pass it off to them. And so what we want to do instead is create a really healthy relationship between us and the web developer that allows us to maintain control, give them the information they need, and you guys can work on it together in a way that's beneficial for both of you. And just to reiterate what I just went over, you will purchase your website domain on GoDaddy. You'll connect the domain to your website builder, which I suggest WordPress. You will set up your SEO on your website, which is an option you can choose. And then you'll create your sitemap here. And we're going to work on our sitemap. And then, like I said, you want to create your theme, choose the theme. Then you're going to want to collect all of your media and put it into a media folder. One folder that's like website media, so that you and your website developer can pull from those images as needed together. And then you'll create your website skeleton once you have your theme. And this is where you just create the page and add it to the menu, but you don't have to build out the page yet. We're just creating the skeleton of the outline. And then we can start to insert the media and the words and all of the content, okay? But before we insert the media and the content, we want to have it all written out in different documents that we have in a folder, just in case our website dies, crashes, something happens where we lose all that information. When I built my first website, I just typed it directly into the website and then lost everything when I lost the website. And it was detrimental. So now I write everything in a folder on the side, and then it's no big deal if I lose it. So first, you're going to want to write out your homepage, a short description of who you are, what your business is, your products and services, and just kind of basic bullet points of why the customer's there and what they can hope to expect from your website. Then you're going to want to have a full about page. This is probably going to be one of the most visited pages on your website because people really want to know who you are. So you're going to want to give a brief description of who you are, the company history, what separates you from your competition, and it can include biographies, photos, anything about the business that you find important that people should know. Next, you're going to want to have a really solid idea of your services. At first, you'll probably just create a single services page that has everything all on one. And then as you start to get more competent in your web development, And as the pages start to be completed, you will then start to create individual service pages for your offerings. That allows to mitigate decision paralysis. Sometimes clients will want to go to the full services and know everything available to them. Sometimes you'll just want to send them information about one service. And so this will allow you to have more control over how you share your information with the clients. Next, a common one is just important facts about your business, commonly asked questions that people ask you over and over. You'll want to start to pre-answer those and create templates and canned responses for those so that you're not constantly typing out the same questions over and over. Testimonials, you'll want to get all of these together, have them listed out with the name and the photo, preferably, of the person who gave you the testimonial. And so we can just input those into the testimonial section of a page, which is a type of plugin, and it gives quotes and lets you put in the photo. It's really nice. Then you're going to want to have a solid idea of what kind of forms you want. Here I just put contact form, but you'll probably also have an email list form and potentially other forms. You'll want to have those listed out so that you can just create them quickly or give it to the web developer and they can create the form that you need. Blogs. So some websites have blogs and some don't. But if you do have a blog mapped out in your mind, it's really helpful to create a spreadsheet and just type out all of the different blog topics that you're going to want to go over, and then start to write them out on different documents. You have those, and they might take you a few goes to create a long post, right? And so you'll just type it in your document, and then when it's ready, you'll update the blog onto the posts page so it shows up in your blog page. Then we have the media gallery. After you've compiled it into your folder, it's easiest just to upload them all at once. I can't stress this enough. Less is more with your media. I see this all the time, people wanting to add in every photo of every gig they've ever done, and it's oftentimes more than is needed to impress the client. And I heard a good quote the other day that's, "You're only as good as your worst photo." And so we really want to take that to heart. The worst, imagine you're sending your worst photo to your client, and that's the one you're going to use to sell your services. If you look at your media gallery, just remove any images that you wouldn't send that one image to the client, so we can have a nice, clean, crisp media gallery. You can also insert media galleries into individual pages as too, which I think is better than a globular media gallery, which I see a lot of people doing. I think it's nice to actually just create a media gallery for whatever the service is so they can really see what they're going to be getting for that offering. If you're a performer that does a lot of events and you're doing a lot of public events, you're doing a tour, you can include a calendar and a list of upcoming events so that people, your fans, potential clients, can either know where to find you or know when you're already booked. And so this can be a really great way to just continually update your events as you're going. News. If you are the type of performer who gets interviewed from magazines or is on news segments, being interviewed for magazines, blogs, all these kinds of things, you might already have a large media release of previous interviews, in which case you might want to showcase those on your website. And you'll want to have all of those, the links, photos, everything together in a folder so that, again, you can just find everything really easily. Many businesses have team members, many don't. And so you may or may not use this part, in which case you could also hide the team members under your About Me page. But you want to really have all this stuff, again, written out on a document so that when you're handing it over to the web developer, they just got all the team members and they can add their info right directly there. So these are the basic pages that most websites start with. And then you can decide what other pages you want that are more specific for your business. There's no right or wrong page per se. Only the like return on sales will let you know that if it's a good page or not. And so this is just a starting point. And now you'll want to decide which of these pages do you want on your website and which ones don't you want on your website. And then once you understand which pages you want, then you want to be clear on which ones you actually want to show up on the menu. Okay. And so maybe you're not putting your testimonials up on the main page, but you'll just send that if someone needs them, or facts. Maybe you don't need your commonly asked questions right on the homepage, but if someone is starting to ask questions, you can just guide them to your facts page. And again, you can create and customize your menu through the menu tab on your WordPress backend. Then we want to be clear about what we want to include on our homepage. Homepages have what's called a global header, and that's the banner that goes at the top of your website and is often a photo, logo, or video compilation that will give the client a very clear understanding of what they can expect from your website as they go through it. Then there's typically 3 sections that you can include that are blank, and it's part of your home page options. And you can choose which 3 pages become sections of your website. And so maybe you'll have like services, about us, or, you know, there's really no right or wrong. You just pick which 3 pages you want shown and you'll pick them there. And then you'll want to decide what goes on your footer and also the sidebar, which I didn't write, but you can decide, and those are your widgets, right? And so we're decide, do I want my social media there? Maybe I'll have other links. A lot of people have their copyright information down at the bottom. On the side, oftentimes you'll see blog categories listed or your calendar, contact forms. Again, there's no right or wrong. You just want to be very clear of what you want visible on your home page here. Okay, so this is where I start, and I'll kind of type all this out into different documents and link them here. And then I like to go one step further, especially if I'm creating a large website or I'm working with a web developer where we're going to be sharing information. This is where I actually create a sitemap template here. And so, you know, first one, theme. I can choose the theme and I could just write it there for them so they know. And then you can just link, like, okay, you can let them know, okay, these are the plugins that I want added. And then they can just be like, done, added, added, added. Here you can tell them what colors you want things to be. You can link photos. Here, videos, like if you just have a YouTube video, you can link it there. If you've written, like down here in the company description, you could just link the description that you wrote. And so what I would do is have one tab be for the documents that I'm giving them, and then the other could be their notes of like what they've done. And then as you start to do it, some pages you can just link directly. So then when I click on it, it would go to the company history there. And so it'll save you time, especially if you start to have a really built out website and you're like, oh, I got to get to that page. It's sometimes difficult to navigate through. And so you could just go to your sitemap and go, boom, there's my Instagram information. I'll send it over. Here's a list of my services, right? And again, there's no right or wrong. You'll just start to add things in as you create them. And this just allows you to have a very clear understanding of what the direction of your website is, and then also be able to easily hand over a website to someone for them to be able to work on. You can both give notes, links, articles, everything you need is right here in your sitemap. And so that is basically your website 101. I believe that with a sitemap and your WordPress skeleton, you can start to piece together your website here. And as confusion arises in the build out of it, you can hire web developers or graphic designers to help you with the pieces that are more difficult for you. Okay. And so I hope this video helps web development feel a little bit more attainable and like something that you can do yourself. And if it feels still overwhelming, I hope that you have a better understanding of how to have a healthy relationship between you and your web developer. Once again, my name is Kristen Railing, and this is the Performer's Guide.